All right, Black people, hope everybody's doing well today. We got a couple of presentations here today. Miss Latacia Richardson and Devicia Brisbane. So hopefully Miss Brisbane joins us soon. But we got Latacia queued up. And please, as always, give her your undivided attention, take notes, and I hope that you'll have some questions for her at the end of her presentation. And Latacia, as always, tell me when you want me to hit the next slide. And the floor is all yours.
Okay, so I did my research on adopted children who suffer from mental illness. You can go to the next one, Dr. Muhammad.
Yep.
My research question was, what is the relationship between being raised in an adopted family compared to a traditional family on the mental health of American teens from the ages of 11 to 18? My hypothesis was teens who were adopted at birth are 10 times more likely to have a mental illness than teens who were raised by their birth parents. The research method I used was secondary data analysis. You can go to the next one. Why is this a social problem? Some kids are adopted into homes where they are mentally and physically abused, where others are put into good homes, but still they have thoughts running through their head about their birth family. They have more learning disabilities and special health care needs than biological children do. Many children who are looked after in foster care or their adopted family have many mental health needs that are not met by the traditional mental health services. You can go to the next one. Where does their mental health issues come from? It can come from stress during the pregnancy, genetics, lack of nutrients during their birth mother's pregnancy, or exposure to alcohol and drug while they were in the womb. You can go to the next one. Researchers took data from a large representative sample in the US that talked about whether or not adopted children are more than likely to have emotional or behavioral problems than biological children. The results showed that adopted and foster children are more likely to have mental. Most adopted children show patterns of behavioral problems than biological children did. You go to the next. Children between the ages of 8 and 18 are diagnosed with a mental health disorder every year, and adopted children are twice as more likely than children who are brought up with their biological parents to be diagnosed. Anxiety, depression, and behavior issues are the main three that they suffer from. This can come from any age of adoption. If the child has contact with his or her birth parents, or if they have a history of mental illness in their biological family. Adopted children also suffer from RAD, which stands for reactive attachment disorder. This is a disorder where a child is uncomfortable with being comforted by their caretakers. They develop this disorder by not getting genuine nutrients and consistent care while in foster care or another home. You go to the next one. When adopted children reach teenage years, that is when they really start to show signs of mental illness. That is when they are trying to find their purpose, identity, and passion. As the child grows, he or she starts to understand more about the world and the people around them. And that's when they start to ask questions like, why was I put up for adoption? Am I loved? Why didn't my birth parents want me? This is where the anxiety and depression and anger come into place. That's when they start to answer the questions in their heads themselves. You can go to the next one. A child having good mental health can be debatable because children are always changing. A certain type of behavior can be appropriate at one stage and might be a sign of mental disorder at another stage of development. Parents cannot shield their child from the people and things in the world, but there are measures that they can take to reduce the child's risk of developing mental health symptoms and disorders. Good mental health for a child starts in the home that they live in. Let children know that they can talk to their parents about anything and they will not be judged. You go to the next one. In conclusion, having a stable home and a family who loves and cares for you can go a long way with children trying to reach their full potential. If they feel that they are loved and caring, That's when they will open up more about what they're going through, and that can help them with their mental health. Pay attention to signs of mental health that any child gives you, whether he or she is adopted or if they live with their biological family. And that's it.
All right, thanks a lot, Ms. Richardson. Any questions? I see Janae has her hand up. Excuse me. You go ahead and unmute yourself, Ms. Barnes.
Oh no, I had clapped because I couldn't.
Okay. Okay, for sure. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Ms. Brisbane, did you email me your presentation or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Bless.
All right, as always, let me know when you want me to go to the next slide, and you can go ahead and get started. You gotta unmute yourself, young lady.
My bad, y'all.
You all good. Looked like you was breaking it down though, so kudos.
Okay, I did research on what personal characteristics best explains why women stay in a physical abusive relationship. Okay, next slide. The part I can't even see the thing. Being physically abused is not something any woman will want to experience, not knowing the reason for the abuse and the reason why they can't leave. Your income, education, the amount of children you have, and whether you are employed or not, all affect on whether a woman is able to leave in a physical abusive relationship. Next slide. So the hypothesis I came up with is that the personal, to that thing, a mix of all my little words.
Take your time.
It's supposed to be the personal. Let me look. Hold on.
Do your thing.
Okay. Well, the personal characteristics why women stay in physical abuse are being a white woman with 3 or more children, making $1,000 or less a month, and having less than a 12th grade education. Next slide. Next slide. That's just a little beat up women. So with the income, if a man, well, I didn't put everything, I'm just going to explain why I put these. Income. When a man is the main source of income, he feel like he owns you. So with that, you can't leave. You don't have any money to go anywhere. So by him taking care of you, what income do you have to take care of yourself or your children? And that's the same with employment. If you didn't work, that means the man is the main provider. He provides everything for you, everything for your children. So he feel like he owns you. So whatever he said, you must do. And with education, if a woman doesn't have diploma or higher than a 12th grade education, what decent job could she get without that? Not a decent paying job to take care of her and her children on her own. And she's so used to being taken care of by a man. And with the children, the more children you have, the harder it is to take care of each other. If you have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids and you're not making more than $1,000, it's hard to survive off a little income like that with all those children. So the man is helping her with that as well. So all these sources come up to her dependent on the man. Next slide. And then for my conclusion, well, doing my research, income, education level, age, marital status, children, and sometimes ethnicity all plays a part in a woman being abused. It's the path you chose, well, the path you choose in life really affect the type of relationship you will have. There are many other reasons why women stay in relationships, but according to my research, those were the reasons why women stay in relationship. These women need a way out. They need other sources and places to go. Just because they can't afford to take care of themselves when they leave doesn't mean they will never be able to. If women actually receive the help they are looking for, then more women will report their abuse. We don't have to do it. We don't have to want to be in a time when it's too late and the abuser has taken a woman's life. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Davicia. Any questions for your classmate?
Were you able to determine, like, far as like how many were like reported? Because I know you said some don't really report. Were there any type of like percentage wise or whatever the case may be that you
They
came up?
didn't, yeah, they didn't put how many women reported, but they did surveys of, I guess, the women that wanted to tell. I guess they didn't do the percentage of women who didn't tell because they don't know who. So I guess that's why they didn't put that.
Okay.
I don't think it's more than half.
All right. Any additional questions?
Y'all presentations was good.
Or comments? All right, well, we had a couple of more on Thursday. That'll be our final run. Ms. Barnes will have you go up first so that you can get to the Pi Gamma Mu recognition on time. Please, even though most of you have presented already, please go ahead and show up on Thursday for your classmates. And I'll see you all at that time. As always, this lecture's being recorded. It will be uploaded shortly. You all have a wonderful afternoon.
Dr. Muhammad,
Yes, ma'am.
I should have 2 assignments turned into you tonight.
Okay, please do. I'll be looking. Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that. If anybody has any outstanding assignments, you could turn them in up to Friday. If you think you're running up against that deadline, let me know as soon as possible. But you can still turn stuff in even from like the first week. We just got to get it in this week, all right? All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
One more thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's one of the assignments. It is not showing the grade, even though you graded it. The grade is still not there.
Which
What is
assignment?
I think I had mentioned. Oh Lord, not. I think it's the method summary. Let me look.
Okay.
It's one of them assignments.
Check it out. Email me and send a screenshot because, like, I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember which assignment it was, but I have gone in there. I've seen it in there myself. But if you don't see it, take a screenshot of what you see. And if anybody has that issue, let me know as soon as you can.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? All right, I appreciate the presenters today, and I look forward to the final presenters on Thursday.
Have a
Yes,
good day.
sir.
All right,
Yes,
y'all have a
sir.
good one.